Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's a great day. It's the last day of the month. Welcome, welcome, welcome. God is good. God is so good. Just grateful to be able to get through another month. Um, just so grateful, man. We're gonna hop right back into it. Yes, yes. Welcome back to the Daily Dose, the number one daily morning mastermind for those trying to elevate and grow in your professional, personal, spiritual, entrepreneur lives, man. It's a great day. It's a beautiful morning. It's just so grateful to be alive, grateful to be back, grateful to be able to share knowledge, collaborate with people, and expand on everything that we've been talking about. So let's hop right back into the verse of the day, verse of the week that we've been going over. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 through 3. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. God is so good. God is so amazing because when we put our faith in Him, we don't we can't lose, right? And we got to remember that having that faith and establishing that confidence for yourself, man, works wonders because it just builds and builds and builds on top of each other. Because once you have faith in God and you see one thing happen, and it works out exactly how you thought it would, and sometimes it don't work out exactly how you thought it would, but overall it still happens because you had faith, you believed in it, you were making sure that uh you stayed locked in with God. You stayed tapped in into what it is that God has in store for you. We have to remember that faith is so important. Faith is how faith is how we change the world. That's how we change our lives. That's how we make change. Period. That is literally the invisible. Like I said, it's the substance really of how we execute on everything that we need to do. Having that faith in God. And if you want to be remembered, have strong faith, literally. But that'll wrap up the verse of the week. Let's hop right to the business topics. Business topic for today. We're gonna be talking about business structures, the different types of business structures that there are, and just go through, what they are. Make sure we understand all of the different types of business structures. We are not going to. We're not. I'm not gonna go into all how beneficial they are and all of that, but we want to make sure that we understand what they are from a general standpoint so that we can make wise choices on setting up our business structure. All right. And then I'll have an attorney come up here one day to explain and dive deeper into exactly, how what will fit best for you and your situation, right? For each different type of business structure. But these are the different ones. We have sole proprietorship, right? And it's exactly what it said that it is. One owner, no distinguishment between the business and the individual, right? It's the simplest form of business ownership. Your personal assets are at risk with your business debts. This is like the easiest business structure to set up. It's almost not even like a business. There's no point doing this, in my opinion, right? It is self, it's like for a super small business. This is for something. If you were doing like I don't know. I don't know what would be the benefit of opening this, but that's what a sole proprietorship is. It is like I said, and the main reason why I don't see no benefit is because there's no distinguishment between the business and the person, right? I have, I just don't understand why that would be a thing for somebody to want to do, but that is what a sole proprietorship is. Number two, a partnership. This is where you have two or more owners. It can be a general partnership or a limited partnership. The profits and losses distributions are determined at business formation, like your percentage ownership and all that type of stuff. Only the general partner's personal assets are still at risk with the business debts. The limited partners are not. And the main difference between the general partner and the limited partner is when you create your operating agreement and you're going to designate, okay, the general partners, these people have control to make all of the decisions. These people are making they're running the company. The limited partner would be somebody who just invests in the business and they, get paid out of their investment percentage or whatever the case may be. That would be a partnership, right? But still, no protection really for the general partners because your personal assets can be came after with the business debts. Next, you have an LLC, which is more than likely like the most popular structure of business formation, a limited liability company. It then can offer a combination of corporation or partnership entities. It depends on how you set the LLC up. Like I said, I will have an attorney come up here and go through, like dive real deep into how the structures are for setting up the LLC and which one makes more sense for your type of business. But you do get your personal assets are protected when you set up an LLC from your business debts. Profit and losses are passed through the members on your personal tax return. What that means is when you have an LLC, let's say you make $100,000, your expenses was $80,000, so you actually made $20,000, right? That $20,000 gets added to your personal tax income, your personal taxable income. That's how that works when you have an LLC. All right, but when you form it, like I said, you can structure it to either be taxed as a partnership, an S corp, or a C corp. And I'm about to go into what those two are as well. But just want to understand what that structure is. LLCs are a little bit more complicated to set up than a sole proprietorship or a partnership. But and like I said, it's probably one of the most common forms of business ownership, business structure ownership. Then you have a C corp, C corporation, completely separate entity from the owners. The owners are considered shareholders in the business, right? And this type of corporation is subject to double taxation. What does that mean? The corporate income is taxed. So in the same example I used a while ago, let's up it though, because that's what this type of structure is for. Let's say the income or the revenue for a business was $1 million, the expenses was 500,000. So the company made 500,000. Listen to this: the company is going to get taxed on the 500,000 profit, but also the profits that go to the shareholders, the owners, those dividends, because when you form it, you create how much your dividends are going to be. That's going to be distributed back to their owners, right? So those dividends, whenever you receive them as a shareholder, you're going to get taxed again on those dividends on your personal taxable income, right? So if the company is going to get taxed on that 500,000, then let's say your as a shareholder, your dividend percentage is 10%. So you're gonna get 50,000 out of that 500,000, right? And then that's gonna be added to your personal taxable income, right? So that's the double tax that it's talking about. There's no limitation on the ownership number. You can have 500 owners in a C corp, and you want to think about big businesses like Walmart, Amazon, um, most of the companies that are on the stock market, right? Because when you can buy a company stock, you are a shareholder and you are essentially a part owner in the company. You have no say so, but you get dividends, right? Whenever that company performs and it shares its profits, that's the you get benefits from that, right? So they just want to let us know those are for it's really for companies that are expecting large, high profits, like if you were to start a private equity firm, if you was to start a tech company, if you was to start something that would have generate a lot of income in a fairly short period of time, this is what C corps are best suited for, right? Then you have a S corporation. Same thing, is completely separate entity from the owners, but the profits and losses pass directly to shareholders' personal taxes. So it doesn't get that first corporate tax. All right. So it is you got 100 on the limit for this, and it's only one class of stock that can be issued. On the C corp is multiple classes of stock that can be issued. Right. It is more strict formalities to form than a C corp, so you might want to get an attorney involved for both of these, right? Because these can get complicated. Even LLC, you might want to involve an attorney if you have a complicated structure that you want to make sure that it gets ironed out correctly, right? And then S corp is more suitable for small business owners because you don't got that double taxation. It's not as strenuous to set up. It's not that many moving pieces that you got to worry about as far as like multiple different stocks, stock classes, the dividends, all of that type of stuff. So just want to make sure we understand sole proprietorship, partnership, LLC, C corps, and the S corp. Those are the main 5 different business structures. There are a few other ones, like a nonprofit, right? But just want to make sure that we understand that and we have a great sense of knowledge around those business structures as it pertains to setting up our businesses. Now, self-development topic for today. This is a huge one. I feel like, especially in our community, man, because we got a lot of stuff going on. And I say that a lot because I don't know what's going on in other communities, right? I'm sure stuff happens, but I know what's happening in our own community. So today we're going to be talking about letting go of toxic relationships. Huge thing because we might all have been in a toxic relationship, family member, friend, romantic relationship. Uh, we might have a toxic relationship with an inanimate object like food. You know what I'm saying? Money. There's so many different things like that could be considered a toxic relationship. But just want to discuss what that actually means. Number one, recognize the signs of a toxic relationship. Understand what those signs are. And those signs are going to be like emotional manipulation, disrespect, abuse, a negative impact on your overall well-being, right? Acknowledge the need for change. Acknowledge, okay, I see what's going on here. I see that some of these things, one of these things is happening, and I need to change this. I need to get out of this situation. This is not benefiting me at all, right? And like I said, the emotional manipulation is crazy because you might not even realize it until you just super deep in and you're like, wow, like I'm just doing this, I'm doing that. I just feel like, okay. And that's when somebody, like I said, just straight up using emotions to um coerce you into doing something, right? Or feeling a certain way, or making you act out of character based on their manipulation, right? Just want to make sure that we acknowledge the need for change. Decide on the course of action. How are you going to get out of that situation? Like I said, the physical abuse can be a crazy thing. Domestic violence is wild, and it can be super hard to get out of that. Kind of plan that out. Decide on the course of action. How are you going to remove yourself from this toxic relationship? What is the best route for you to take? How can you go about doing that? Limit contact and communication with the person, the thing, whatever it is, right? And that's probably the hardest part to do. Whenever you get into all of these different things, especially a toxic relationship, limiting that contact can be hard because it's toxic for a reason. You're in the relationship for a reason, right? You got into that relationship for a reason, and most of the time, it's super hard. This is the hardest part: is limiting contact, letting go of that communication line, right? But you have to do it. You got to do it in order to release the toxic relationship and to make sure you're setting yourself up for success. Lastly, you want to make sure you prioritize your well-being, right? Have you like make sure that you understand, like, okay, this is making me feel anxious. This is making me feel stressed out. This is draining to my mental. draining to my physical. Like I don't even feel healthy being in this, like physically healthy being in this relationship, right? Prioritize your well-being. Make sure that you are doing the meditation, right? Doing the positive self-talk, making sure that you understand that you can get out of the toxic relationship. You don't belong in the toxic relationship. Pray and ask God to help you get out of the toxic relationship. Um, we all want to be successful. We all want to have great friendships and relationships. We all want to help other people. That's another reason why I feel like toxic relationships can be used wrongly, right? We all just we all have a lot going on. Just want to make sure that we are staying tapped in with ourselves and we are not allowing other people to, you know, tear us down and bring us down as we are on our journey going up. So that'll be the self-development topic for today. Just letting go of those toxic relationships. It's the last day of the month. I hope everybody had a great May. June starts tomorrow. So we'll be right back at it on Monday. Um, on Monday at 7 a.m.